Good morning, brothers and sisters. Let me see if I can share my screen also. This is always the challenge. Okay. So I hope and think that you can see that. So first a little bit introduction here. Usually I plan my sermons or my sharings many weeks before, maybe even 1 month or several months before. And then this has happened to me many times, and it happened this time again. Just a couple of days before the sermon, you could say I get inspiration or I change my mind. So this is something created, you could say, from a couple of days ago. And the reason is that we had this Shamwongon inauguration, as you remember, a couple of weeks ago. And I want to connect to that. It's like a spiritual event, an important event in our movement. So I want to connect to that by talking about Holy Mother Han a little bit. So it's always a challenge. Most of you know all those things I will talk about. But anyway, I'll share it. Let's take it like a reminder, of things past that have happened. Also, I want to say we had a very nice meeting on the way here. We stopped by Lawrence. He lives south of Stockholm, about half an hour, 45 minutes. And we were several brothers, and one sister, Marit, was also joining. And we had an open discussion about this recent events in our movement and, this discussions that have been ongoing. So that was very nice to meet old members, Swedish members again. And that will a little bit I will comment in this sharing. So also I want to make a reminder. We got email about this event in River South, London church. There will be this switch of leadership. And thank you to Hannu, no, sorry, to the previous leader for North Europe. So that being said, let's take the next slide, see if this works. Yeah. This is the most beautiful picture I found. With so many pictures of the new Shomangun complex or palace. And this, I think, is the absolute number one. It's glowing like a diamond there in the nice valleys of Chongpyong. So yeah, it's really, really beautiful. Okay, next one. So this is the parents of True Mother, Akya Han. And well, they are good parents, and her mother was specially taken care, and her grandmother also. They took very good care of their daughters. So she comes from you could say a family of daughters, and that's also like a valid preparation for the Holy Mother Han, for this position that she has reached. And then in 1991, we got this medium, the Korean sister, Yo Nam Kim, who came. So Daemonim, True Mother's mother, she was in the U.S. and then she grew older, and then she passed over, and True Father gave her this honor name, Daemonim, which means great mother in Korean. So anyway, 1991, Daemonim from spiritual started to give messages in Chongpyong through this medium, Yonam Kim. And if you remember the early days in our church, there was lots of testimonies from spiritualists, not necessarily members or people who joined us or supported us, but anyway, the spirit world was sort of descending on this spiritual mediums in Korea and giving testimonies and support for True Father's mission at that time. So that time it was like True Father was really in the focus all the time. You could say all the way up to his passing 2012. Some nice pictures of her, young Akya Han. And it's interesting that both true father and true mother, they are born according to the moon calendar on the same date, 6th of January. Of course, different years, but interesting. There's like some heavenly finger involved in this providence. More nice pictures. And the latest one, 2024 Munich. Of course, she is growing from a young girl to an old woman, an older woman, I should say, respectful. Yeah. The kingdom of heaven resembles a person who has achieved individual perfection, taking after God's original internal nature and external form. In an individual, the mind's command is transmitted to the whole body through the central nervous system, causing the body to act with one purpose. Likewise, in the kingdom of heaven, God's direction will be spiritually conveyed to all his children through the true parents of humankind, guiding everyone to live as one. This was something said by True Father, and it's based on the divine principle. So it's interesting what now recently have happened with this resonance prayer we have. We are doing this Chon Chimon service, and we can see that this is more and more coming into focus. This connection between the spiritual and the physical world. So I think this will just go on more and more as Providence is progressing. And when True Mother goes to spirit world one day, I'm sure there will be some remarkable events in this connection to this. Nice picture to parents and grandchild. There were two people starting mankind, Adam and Eve, who both fell. Jesus came as the new second Adam to atone for that fall. A new Adam naturally needs a new second Eve to replace the original fallen first Adam and Eve. Jesus, he said, but I want you to know that the Son of Man has authority on earth to forgive sins. This is interesting. Jesus, he did forgive sins, yeah, personal sins, but the original sin remains and requires a true parents couple to be forgiven, because the fall of man was like a couple, and so the restoration ends with a couple, and that is profound. So that really speaks that Jesus should have a bride, Jesus should have a marriage and a family, and that would have been the true parents done at that time, and the world would have been a totally different state than today, and even Christianity would not exist in the way it is today. In my thinking, I might add. This is my thinking, so you don't have to agree with every slide I show. But anyway, an accepted Jesus 2,000 years ago could have forgiven his potential bride, married, and created the first ever sinless family on earth. The non-acceptance, rejections 2,000 years ago of Jesus as the waiting Messiah postponed the kingdom of earth and in heaven until his second coming. The one and only need for Jesus to promise a return, because it was not fulfilled. Full physical salvation was unfinished 2,000 years ago. So Jesus achieved perfection himself, but he could not offer this or open this door. You could say open door is better to say, because perfection is not something that even the Messiah cannot give perfection. Like he can open, true parents can open the door towards perfection. And then we know that we have to struggle and work on that ourselves by living for others. Old Testament prophecies about both the king and queen. This is interesting. So this also emphasizes that the Messiah comes as a king and queen. Daughters of kings are among your honored women. At your right hand is the royal bride in gold of Ophir. Listen, O daughter, consider and give ear. Forget your people and your father's house. The king is enthralled by your beauty. Honor him, for he is your Lord. Okay? And you know, this Ark of Covenant, that is really like the symbol of Messiah and his bride. New Adam and new Eve. So that's why it was so holy. And inside this box, the Jews, they carried the stone tablets that Moses wrote. First he received them from God, with God's hand, and then when he came down from the mountain, you know, the people have made this golden calf, and they were worshiping golden calf, and he became so angry, so he crushed the stones, and then he had to fast another 40 days. I don't know if this is possible. Another 40 days and go to the mountain to write down those 10 commandments again, now by his own hand. So those stone tablets were inside of this box. Okay. So I have showed this before, Da Vinci Code. So this is interesting. This is, of course, not true. Jesus did not have children. He don't have a lineage. He never had a lineage. But anyway, it's interesting how this Da Vinci Code, how popular it became. I remember still when the book came and then the film came, and almost everyone, talked about it. Oh, you must see this film and you must read this book, because it was so, it touched the man's heart. And why did it touch the heart? Because it was true. It was about Jesus having a family, having a lineage, children. And that touched the truth. And the truth is very powerful, as we know. The Bible has kept the truth for 2,000 years. So, yeah. So I will not read that. But anyway, this one for. Also, now we come to Jesus, the time of Jesus, and Jesus' bride, Jesus' wife. Let's see if I can change a little bit my screen here so I can read. 1 moment. Oh, that's better. So Samuel Moon, he said, 1996, as Jesus grew up, he was requesting to marry the younger sister of Elizabeth's family. This you heard before, yeah? John the Baptist sister. Can you imagine that? It was virtually impossible because if it had become known to the general public that Mary had if it had become known to the general public, then the families of Zechariah and Jesus would have been destroyed. Yeah. So that was it. Never came to be fulfilled. But this is true Father's word that the sister of John the Baptist was the first in choice, you could say. And this is interesting. This world scripture you have also seen before. This is like the plan B. So Jesus' plan B also after this never John the Baptist never materialized. He says like this way, true Father. Among the disciples, Jesus loved Judas Iscariot in particular. He made Judas his object partner, through whom to restore God's primary will. Jesus intended to use him in order to erect a woman in the position of Eve. But to do this, they should fulfill the roles of personages involved in the fall. Yeah. So it doesn't mean that Mary Magdalene should be the wife of Jesus, but they should have a restoration process. This is something that we heard in a workshop from UTS, from the head author, you say, of this world scripture, that it was more like a we have restoration processes involved in the blessing. So this was some kind of process to restore a bride for Jesus. But Judas was full of discontent and confronted Jesus, just like Lucifer also was discontented with Adam and Eve. So he got Judas to oppose Jesus and oppose this restoration process. That was the beginning of his rebellion against his teacher, which culminated when he sold out the one man unique in all human history for a mere 30 pieces of silver. This makes a lot more sense also, that it was about a woman, a woman involved. That always raises strong feelings in a man. So it wasn't just that Judas got the idea to betray Jesus, but there was this event explains much deeper what was happening. Yeah. So you could say that there was a plan A failed and plan B failed because of human involvement, and plan C then was successful, but that only became spiritual. And that is 2,000 years Christianity, basically. So Jesus came for a marriage, but he never materialized. So he had the only choice. Otherwise, it would be total failure. So the only choice was the spiritual, very, very gruesome death on the cross. First, he was tempted in the desert. That was the foundation. And true Father said that made him in the position of John the Baptist. So Jesus, when he died and he resurrected in the position of John the Baptist. So that was like it, like the providence hit a roof, a spiritual roof. And that's why this kingdom of heaven never really came on earth. Jesus spoke about the kingdom of heaven is near. Repent, for the kingdom of heaven is by hand. But many things, didn't work out. And the reason is the spiritual blockage, you could say. A true father and true mother have opened nowadays. So here we have again. And now I will mention something that some of you maybe don't agree with this, but anyway, this is my choice. I choose to believe true father did everything right, and his marriage was from heaven. He stated it in his biography also. So 1944 he married a Korean woman who was a potential true mother then, at that time, and that was God's will. I believe that when he says that, and it failed. So it was not a mistake, but it failed. That this is important. Just like the providence 1945 to 52, that is a providence that true father spoke so many times about, and because the Korean Christians had the main responsibility to receive him as the Messiah, as the Lord of second advent, and it never happened. This is history. And because the true father emphasized this so many times, I believe this, and this is my choice. I'm not saying I'm right and others are wrong. I'm just saying this is my personal choice to believe in this. And of course, this clashes then with this, we say, new theology, new teaching we have. But that's my choice to see it that way. So I support absolutely true parents, absolutely true father, absolutely true mother. They are the eternal true parents of heaven, earth, and humankind. So that is a solid, quite solid conclusion, you could say. But this point, I choose to go this way. So yeah, that's my choice. Okay, so 1960, this marriage was then successful, and true mother had to go through so many things. You can read in her biography, you can read in the history of our church that we should really honor her for being the successful true mother that she is today. Thank you, true mother. So we have true parents, successful true parents. This is like above everything else, We have theological discussions of this or that. That is under this victory. The victory is really solid on the top. Okay, interesting. Her tribe name or family name is Han. The tribal name Han. We have listened to epic of Korean people and the importance of Korean culture and history, and there are many parallels with Jewish history. And you can see Korea is really a messianic prepared country. We talk about Koreans as the Han people, and we have the Han River in Seoul, and also Hangul, Hangul, Korean language, and in North Korea and China, many people with the Han lineage. So Han lineage is important. So maybe I share like this way that I think Hakya Han is the perfect bride of true father. But I think God wanted things to go faster, and this, if the first wife had fulfilled, things would have gone much faster. And this is true father's words also. If the first had been successful, there would have been a different story. Yeah. So all these 40 years that we went through in our movement, this desert wandering. Yeah. Okay. The Han River is a river in the central region of Korean Peninsula. The sum of its tributaries and drainage basin in North Korea. It is classified as a natural first-class river in South Korea. The Han has the highest flow rate of any river on the Korean Peninsula. It's a very important river. Yeah. 1992, 10th of April, Women's Federation for World Peace is founded in Seoul Olympic Stadium. On April 10, Sun Myung-moon, he declared to the world that true mother had arrived. This was the inauguration of Women's Federation for World Peace. Okay, probably that's true mother talking. Where we also proclaim women's liberation. Yeah, sorry. May 1st and 2nd June, Hakya Han visits 21 cities in Korea. 200,000 people listen. And then Sun Myung-moon, July 6 to 9, he proclaims, I am the Messiah, in 4 speeches in Korea. And this is interesting, like Jesus, he said, Jesus asking his disciple, he asked, "Who do you think I am?" And some said the Messiah, some said a prophet, and like this way. Anyway, he sort of stopped them, stopped them by telling it not to tell people who they thought him to be, because the time was not right. The time was not right. So this is interesting parallel here. 1992, the time was right for True Mother to step out, and also True Father proclaim for the first time, "I am the Messiah," publicly. So you can see like parallel here, like the providence goes in parallel. True Father, True Mother, they are connected in what they're doing, working in tandem, like I wrote it. So we have Father Sungwa as important milestone, his ascension to spirit world, and 2013 Chongelguk started that we are in now. And here we have those we say the core teaching or the core foundation for our movement. So True Father, he found the truth in divine principle, the 9 years, 1935 to 44. And 2014, we got True Mother's view on things. And there are many, many interesting and good things in that book. So please study. And we come to the end of the slides here. Shomwangung, there's a nice picture again, full of picture. So from 2025, we learn to end our prayer in attendance to Holy Mother Han and my name, over blessed. If we have fulfilled physical 430 couples, a blessing, it will be central, otherwise blessed family. Yeah. Shomwangung and Chongol Sanctum, April 2025. The primary meaning is that the Chongwangung, Chon Il Sanctum, will be where heaven's heart will rest in the age of Chongelguk. It is also the base that will be firmly established eternally on earth to welcome God as the parent. True Mother said, Shomwangung is the eternal holy temple, and it must be a place where the people of the world long to visit and live with nostalgia. She also said Shomwangung, Chongel Sanctum, will be the headquarters of the cosmos. She gave precise guidelines as to the design and gave meaning to the buildings. So this is interesting. You know, we have also how do you say, like a declaration of the future kingdom, how it should be managed. So probably this will be Chongel Sanctum, the center for that. And also with many religions, they have these holy places, you know, like Islam have Mecca. So every good Muslim should at least one time in a lifetime go to this holy stone in Mecca. So I guess we all should go to Chongpyong and Shomwangung at least one time in our life. Okay, some thoughts. Shomwangung, Chongel Sanctum, will be constructed so that a person, myself, stands in the center of the sanctum to represent the idol of heaven, earth, and humankind in unity. In addition, the 40 giant Chongil sacred paintings on the left and right sides will express True Parent's life course and the experiences throughout heaven's providence that were aimed at realizing the idol of peace. Yeah, that's something I took from the net. So if we make a summary, True Mother is very important and was needed for the Lord of Second Advent and True Parents to succeed. So please understand, I believe in True Father and True Mother equal. So this is my thinking. We should focus on True Mother because she's on earth now. That is correct. But you know, in the spiritual status, you know, for me personally, they are equal forever. True parents are eternally the successful true parents of heaven, over heaven, earth, and humankind. So that is a really good conclusion of this small sermon. And here's also, I will not read this, you can look at yourself. And I say, please join me in prayer. Dearest Heavenly Father, Heavenly Mother, we are so grateful that we have true parents, that we have those open doors so we can go through and we can reach the third completion level of the growth, the spiritual growth, and we can grow in heart together with them, and we listen very carefully to True Mother, and also we listen to True Father's speeches to Hondoke, and we want to unite and we want to feel harmony within our movement. So please bring us together, and let's respect each other fully, and love each other. Love is the glue that can really connect us, and go over all barriers that can exist and do exist sometimes. I pray for peace on earth also in Ukraine, Russia, and Gaza, Israel, Sudan also terrible famine there. So all the suffering on the earth, let it end. We want you to intervene in all the suffering. There's so many difficult things ongoing in the world. So please intervene with a good spirit world, with the good angels, with Jesus, with True Father, with all the blessed couples in spirit world. Please open the doors for them to come into our hearts and to unite with us and unite with all the good forces on earth that do exist on earth. And let us reach out to all the people who are prepared for joining us and supporting True Parents. So this I pray now in attendance to the Holy Mother Han and my name Bengt of the Paulis family, a blessed family. Adieu.